What's up, guys? We are back with more of the Pythagorean theorem. In this lesson, we're looking at the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. So like I was talking about before, the Pythagorean theorem is used a lot in construction. Imagine trying to install a square tile in a room that's not perfectly square. So you need to ensure that corners have a precise 90-degree angle, and the Pythagorean theorem, in particular the converse, is going to be used to do that. So the converse of the Pythagorean theorem is basically just kind of the Pythagorean theorem flipped. The Pythagorean theorem says if a triangle is a right triangle, then a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The converse, you flip the if and the then. So if a squared plus b squared equals c squared, then the triangle is a right triangle. So converse is kind of like the flip or the opposite of a statement, if you will. Like with a if-then statement, the converse switches the if and the then. So if this is the Pythagorean theorem, then the converse kind of reverses that. And the converse of the Pythagorean theorem is also true. So this is how you show if something is a right triangle. If it works in the Pythagorean theorem, if the numbers work, if the side lengths work in this formula, then it is a right triangle. So is this a right triangle? If I don't know if this is a perfectly 90-degree angles, or if I'm a carpenter measuring out a room and I want to know if it's 90-degree angles or a right triangle, then I would plug in these three numbers. Now we always use the largest side length as our our hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse of a triangle is always the largest side, so you would always plug in the smaller two numbers. And just because technically it looks like this is the right angle, right? But 3, 4, 5, if it works here, this is true, but the right angle is technically here, so it might not be drawn to scale. So you always plug in the largest number into C. And this, I forgot to tell you, that was on page 417 in your books. So you guys can go to page 418 now. And we just have 2 examples and 2 check problems for this video, so it'll be pretty quick. So a carpenter framing a wall and needs to ensure that the wooden boards form a right angle. So we want to know if this triangle is a right triangle, because we want to know if we have a right angle at the bottom here. So we are going to see if this is true. We have to plug it into the formula and see if it is true. So again, we'll replace A with 6, B with 8. Always put the biggest number in for C. So 6 squared plus 8 squared equals 10 squared, and then let's figure out what each of these sides equal. So if I go through and simplify the left-hand side, I get 100. Simplify the right-hand side, I get 100. Since this is true, because the side lengths do satisfy, then the triangle is a right triangle here. So you guys look at the triangle on the bottom of page 418 and do that check problem. Do the check problem, pause the video and do it right now. I'm going to be looking for this. You've only got a couple problems to do on this lesson. It's very short, so just take a minute and see if that one is or is not a right triangle. And now that you're done, let's look at another example. So this one is on page 419. Oh my goodness, this video is going to be way too short. Use the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. So I want to know, is this a right triangle with side lengths 13, 20, and 25? So I'm going to plug in the numbers again. 25 goes in for C, the biggest number goes in for C. And we're going to find out, do 13 squared plus 20 squared equal 25 squared? Well, this is 169 plus 400, and you guys should be able to see that this is 569. It is not equal to 625. So this is, in fact, since they do not satisfy, it is not a right triangle. So again, you're not going to go based on what the drawing looks like. You need to do the work to see if it actually is. Just because it's drawn to look like a right triangle doesn't mean it is, in fact, a right triangle. So you guys try the check problem. Let's do one more together just to make sure you guys know how to set this up. And because this video is less than 5 minutes already, I want to know if this is making right triangles. So we would say that 5 squared plus 7 squared, we want to know, is it equal to 8.5 squared? Again, the largest number goes over here. So 5 squared is 25. 7 squared is 49. 25 plus 49 is 74. 8.5 squared is 72.25, and since these are not equal, this is not a right triangle. And it's as simple as that. So hopefully you guys are okay with this. Do the check problem on the bottom of page 419. So I will be checking both those check problems. And on page 419 on the right hand side, write the words snow day, so I can see that you watched this. Hopefully on a snow day is when you'll be watching this. Technically an online learning day, but there should be snow outside. So that is all. And enjoy the rest of your day.